Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you once again for watching. I had a lot of fun this season, and I'm hoping that you had fun watching them as well. Um, Before I made this video, I had a little bit of an accident, and my throat was slit, which really sucks. But anyhow, uh, I think I'm going to stick to being a vampire instead of a zombie because it's way too messy. Anyhow, last season I had talked about Detroit's Devil's Night, which is something that is from where I'm from, which a lot of people don't even know what that is. Tonight I'm going to talk about one of my favorite serial killers from the past, and so I'll get started. I have a cheat sheet, so you have to forgive me, but I'm going to read off it because I'm really bad with dates. Anyhow, the first serial killer of all time. Her name is Elizabeth Bathory, or Erzebet Bathory. Anyhow, she was from a noble family in Hungary, and she was born on August 7th, 1560. Hmm. She has been nicknamed the Blood Countess or Countess Dracula, and was also compared to the real substance of the story from Dracula, Vlad III the Impaler, which is Bram Stoker's inspiration for his tale. Little backstory: she was engaged at 11 and married at 15, and then she kept her family name, which was very rare for a woman during that time period. Erzebet was highly educated, and she could read and write in four different languages, which was pretty impressive because most women were not educated back then. But she was noble and from nobility, so she obviously had like the highest education possible. Anyway, while her husband was away at war, she was charged with his estates, and then he eventually died on January 4th, 1604, at the age of 48. After that, all these different sources tried to take over her land, her castle, her territory. She was a woman, and she wasn't competent to hold that ground, according to them. So, anyhow, this is about the time she became mad. Um, First and foremost, what she started to do was, after a long period of time, it became, progressive. But in the beginning, she just recruited a few servant girls from the, village outside of the castle grounds that she lived in. They were all peasants, and they were all going to the castle to kind of, you know, it was sort of like an honor to be, it was sort of like a girls' academy or something. That's what they thought they were going into. But what she was actually leading them into was, a death ground. Anyhow, among her tortures, uh, she, there were beatings. She had a thing for freezing people outside, starving them to death. All young women, all teenage women, really. Um, Burning or mutilating their hands was another thing she did. Biting the flesh off their faces was another one. But the thing that she's most known for was actually biting flesh off their faces and bathing in their blood. Uh, she believed that the blood of these young women would keep her young. Uh, and that includes blood drain from an Iron Maiden type of torture device that she had set up. Anyhow, the span of killings ran from 1590 to 1609, and the number is extremely controversial, but the number of deaths reported was 650, which that's pretty, yeah, anyway. Uh, Her family tried to protect her for a while. The family name kept police and investigators from finding out what was happening within her castle, until finally it became too overwhelming. One of her servants, Susanna, happened to know a man who had gotten a hold of her private diaries or her books that described in detail the number of deaths and how she killed everybody she killed because she kept a record of it. Um, Anyhow, when it came time, more than 300 witnesses came to testify against her. Now, here's the thing. Rather than, kill her or, sentence her to death, they did sentence her to death, but it was a special kind of death. They imprisoned her within her own castle. Uh, Basically, she was in a solitary confinement with walled up windows. And then it took her 5 years to die afterwards. I'm assuming they fed her within that time period. Anyway, on August 21st, 1614, Elizabeth Bathory died within her own solitary confinement. And anyhow, that's pretty badass in my book. And she, she's known as the first serial killer. And I don't know. That's my little story for this year. Hope you enjoyed it. My little campfire tale. Anyhow, thank you again for watching. Jeannie is going to cover Rocky Horror Picture Show coming up really soon. And then we're going to sign the year off with a little tiny bang. A little teeny tiny. And then next year, we'll see what we can do. So anyway, thank you for letting me be my crazy self and be creative, because I really enjoy doing this for you guys. And that's about it. Happy Halloween.